Hey, Janot's Irish Boxing, Weatherford, Texas. It's March 4. Um, did my workout this morning. When I got up, we had about 1.5 inches of snow on the ground. It's about 20 degrees. So I went out there and tore it up. I have a minute, so I wanted to make this video. I want to talk a little about something that's been on my mind. Let's talk style, technique. If you're going and you're hitting, you're hitting your bag for 5 hours a day, just tearing it up, um, um, you know, 1 2 1 2 3 2 1 6 3 2 1 1 2 2 1 2, and you're becoming this robotic boxer, you know. Finding your style, finding what works for you isn't an easy thing to do. There's a couple things that I've found that help. That help me. I've got a weird stance myself. Once you have your fundamentals down and you're ready to start growing as a fighter, are you watching a pro? Are you trying to emulate, Ali's, Ali won with his hands on his waist. Roy Jones Jr. won with his hands behind his back. The list goes on and on about your own style and your own form. Just a couple pointers. Don't focus on your good punches. You got to chop away a lot of bad to realize that what you're looking for. You got to start thinking outside the box. What you're looking for is outside of the truth. You're like a block of ice. You got to chip away a lot of bad habits. You got to learn to fight from anywhere, off balance. I try to become somebody new every time I work out. I don't fight. I don't have a game plan going into a fight with most guys. I just fight the fight that's in front of me. I try to let myself go. Knowledge. You can absorb everything that you possibly can, and until you let go of all that, you'll never get the full picture. I'm the kind of guy that if I have to understand how everything works from point A to point B. I have to understand how something works completely before I can begin to improve or make sense of it or work on it or whatever you'd have to say. If you're gas goes in the tank, combusts, engine turns, car moves, I get to where I'm going, right? So you have to understand it's a whole picture, and if you realize when and why you're doing something, more importantly, the more you don't, the more you stop and just feel it, the more comfortable you'll become in your own skin, as taking dabs from another guy or throwing dabs at another guy. Are you keeping your head down when you jab? You're breathing out every shot. Are you calm? Are your eyes open? I remember when I first started, guy starts throwing dabs at me, my immediate reaction is to tuck my chin back and close my eyes if I was catching a couple shots, and instead of out and away and eyes closed, which isn't a very good position to be in if somebody's throwing punches at you, You know, out and away, down and in. You know, down and in. You know, your hands high, your elbows low. Um, you know, if you can see the punch, okay, you can slip it. Try defending yourself with no hands. Think about it like that. Don't necessarily put them behind your back, but you know, it's a good way to, if you videotape yourself, or you can go back and look at yourself while you're doing something. It helps with your footwork, you know, working out bad habits. You know, always try to keep your back foot always on the ball. You know, I've got when I switch to a southpaw, I'll change it up if I don't like the pace of a fight, or if I'm going for the knockout, or if I just feel like throwing him off his game a little bit. I like to box as a southpaw. So, you know, are you wasting a bunch of energy, you know, bouncing around? You know, look at the pros. You know, move around the ring, and very rarely are their knees bent, and they're using their quads and their calves. They're just wasting energy. You know, like Ali did with his abductor muscles and his hip. You know, just swing. You know, handcuff lightning, or handcuff thunder through lightning in jail, right? It's more natural once you're in motion. It's easier to stay in motion unless, you know, a force acts upon you, such as a punch to the face. And it's nice when you're gonna go throw, you know, you and your buddy, you're gonna go mess around, you're gonna have some light sparring, or you're gonna have some timed rounds, you know. And it's nice to know that when you're going in there, you're calm. You know, it's you know, think, you know, and you have to find your sway, you know, in a way. You know, you see the pros, you know, and it's all head. You might think they're bouncing, but they're not. It's just a waste of energy, you know. You know, pushing and pulling your punches, snapping your punches. You know, like, I have a very high stance as a southpaw. I'm almost 6 foot tall, and I've got a decent reach. And I feel like I put all my weight about 2 inches behind my hips, if that makes any sense at all. That's where all my weight sits, about 2 inches behind my hips. And my weight is centered high. It's swinging. There's a swing to my legs, you know. But when I throw my shots, I am grounded from a straight line from the ground, okay, in. Now I practice from here, from here, from here, and from here. You know what I mean? Taking chunks out of the bag. Or, you know, even though it might seem like you're, like all my weight's on my front foot, or you're sliding all over the place, you know, I grip the ground. You still have traction when I switch to southpaw. So don't focus on your good punches so much. Focus on your bad ones. Try leaving out your left hook. Try leaving out your right hook. Try leaving out your cross. Beating up a bag one day. The only thing that I know for sure is I could hit a bag for 5 hours a day, hit mitts, and, you know, and just be completely dedicated. Or I could let go and produce some results, right? And this is more of a video for, I'm telling you at the end 10 minutes later, someone who has their fundamentals down, you know. I see a lot of guys that are afraid to take a shot, or haven't ever. That's a big fear for a lot of guys, taking a good shot. And as a guy who's been tagged by, you know, 240, 6'4", stacked, don't have no business in the ring with him, you know, bare knuckle. It's until you know how you're gonna react, that fear is a big motivator. You know, the fear of the unknown. You know, I'm gonna drop, da 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 da. I don't know what goes through your head. Are you holding your breath when you're taking shots? No, don't. You know, learn to fight. Learn to fight the fight that's in front of you. If you're walking into this thinking 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 6, 3, 2, you're 2 steps behind. You're being defensive, and you need to be proactive instead of being defensive. You need to push the pace of the fight. Get in there and throw a couple, change it up a little bit, throw him off his balance. Throw a couple, pivot out. You know, pivot out and throw a hook. You know, you have to let go of your ego, and that's a big thing. You know, I've never looked at someone and been like, well, that guy, you know, he's trash, or I would never do that, or, you know, because I drop my hands all the time. Come after me in my back step, you know, if you want to find out, right? But that's what you have to do. And once you let go, you know, you'll find your style. You'll find what works for you. I wouldn't try to emulate something, but me personally, I found myself grabbing bits and pieces and putting the puzzle together myself, which did a lot of bad too. You know, get yourself a good gym, get yourself some guys who know what they're doing, or you know, you walk up to somebody in a gym and you say, "Hey, bud, hey, can you teach me how to throw? Where should I start? Start my right hook at? How do I throw a right hook?" You know, there's 10, 15, 20 guys in your gym, and you might get 6 different answers. You know, but the thing about it is, why not take all 6 of them? See what I'm saying? I have a straight jab from one of my stances that is just hidden. You know, like you know, they say there's no advantage for a southpaw against an orthodox fighter. I beg to differ. You can, you know, ask Floyd Mayweather, or you know, ask Floyd Mayweather. There is, and I'll tell you why. Because I have fought more people who are not my stance. Number one, pure, plain and simple. I'm throwing shots from angles that you're not used to, and I switch back to orthodox. You know, I think I take that as an advantage, and I would have never figured out that I have that you can never see my 2 coming. You can never see my cross coming as a southpaw. My jab, my cross will beat your jab most of the time, if I'm paying attention. I mean, not like, you know, if you're a semi-pro, or even, you know, even a novice. You know, I still get caught all the time. But keep moving. Keep moving. Keep pushing the pace as a fighter. Keep improving yourself. Hunger for knowledge. You know, I have trouble making these videos because they're harebrained sometimes, and I don't have it all planned out. You know, it's just off the top. I got this piece of paper here. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to convey a thought to you and the thinking of that thought at the same time. Okay? And when I stop and I let go, that's when I can be taught. That's how it is. That's how it was for me. So, just 15 minutes, guys. My workout, hour and a half cardio, 2 hours cardio maybe, and then all together, and then maybe 3 hours on the bag, just in and out. Double wrap, 16-ounce gloves, because it's a 150-pound bag, and I'm 150 pounds, and it's outside, and it's 20 degrees, but that's how we do it. Shots, Irish boxing, Weatherford, Texas. Slainte.